Good day to everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the second lecture of Business Studies and Accountancy subject, that is Business Environment. In this lesson we are going to focus on what is meant by business environment and what are the two sectors of any business environment and why it is important, and then finally we are going to discuss about what are the importance of studying this business environment to the organization. So let's move to the lesson. What is meant by business environment? We all are surrounded by an environment. Without an environment we cannot live. So business also same. In business there are also environment around it. All the activities that is occurring in that environment has a direct impact or indirect impact on to the activities of business organization. That is simply called business environment. Business environment is anything that is surrounded by the business and their activities directly affect to the activities of business organization, or it can be indirect impact. There are two types of business environment, that is internal business environment and external business environment. What is meant by internal environment? As name itself, it is internal. Internal means if we consider business as a circle, internal environment refers to all the activities, all the parties inside the circle. So we can take owners, managers, employees as the internal organization. So who are the owners? The owners are the person or two or more people who put their capital to the business, who put their money to the business. Or we can say owners are the people who started the business organization. So when we looking into the managers are the people who guide the business organization or who direct the activities of the business organization in order to achieve predetermined goals and objectives. The main role of managers are to manage the resources in the organization and allocate them accordingly. So the employees, when we consider about the employees are the parties who directly affect to the activities of the organization, where we can say directly affect to the operations of the organization, where without employees we cannot proceed any work. Even though it is machine oriented business organization, there must have at least 2 employees who operate those machines. So employees are the people who provide the skills, knowledge and their experience to the business organization in order to produce goods and services. Now you know what is meant by internal environment and who are the parties in the internal environment. Let's look at what is meant by external environment. As internal environment, name itself you can understand what is meant by an external environment. External environment is, if we consider business as a circle, all the other factors around the business we call external environment. All the activities in the external environment have a direct impact to the operations in business organization. Let's see who are the external environment parties. First, customers. Customers means people who buy products from particular organization. As you and I, we all purchase goods and services from different kind of organizations. So we are coming under customers. Then suppliers. Who are the suppliers? Suppliers are the party who provide raw materials to the organization, who provide quality raw materials, or who are the start of the organization process. We can say without raw materials, how we can start the process. So we can consider suppliers as the initial point. In order to get a further understanding, I will provide an example. Assume you are manufacturing dresses. In order to manufacture dresses, you need to have fabrics, you need to have different kind of accessories. So the people who provide those fabrics and different kind of accessories can be considered as suppliers in that organization. So then competitors. Do you think activities of the competitors have an impact to the organization? Yes, of course. All the activities, not all, most of the activities done by competitors has a direct impact to the organization. So competitors also very much important to the organization, because all the strategies in the organization can be changed or can be planned according to the what competitor perform in the market. So analyzing or understanding about the competitors also very much important. Who are the competitors? Competitors are the parties who provide similar kind of product that you are offering to the market. They are providing similar kind of products. For an example, I can take when we consider soap, Sri Lankan soap Baby Sharami and Johnson's & Johnson's. Both are in the same market but provide same kind of product under different brand name. So they are the competitors in the market. Then political environment or politics. We cannot say it's politics, it's also political environment. Political environment. Do it have an impact to our organization or to any organization? Yes. Political environment is very much important, because in the political environment we need it, because they implement rules and regulations. They implement different kind of restrictions and different kind of constraints, or as well as they provide subsidiaries to the organization. So political environment also very much important. And under the political environment, there is a direct impact of the political environment towards the business organization. Assume they are now in the present there is a ban for polythenes. So the companies who are producing polythenes have in a trouble right now, because now in Sri Lanka it's prohibited to produce some kind of polythenes. So there is a direct impact towards it. Then legal environment. Do you think legal environment is important as well as there is an impact? Yes. In legal environment, all the activities in the organization is governed by legal environment, or it's governed by rules and regulation. As the initial step, we have to register our organization. That is coming under legal environment. According to the legal environment, we need to register our business organization. If it is a company, we have to register our company under the Companies Act number 7 of 2007 at Register of Companies. So there are different acts that is directly influence to the activities of the business organization. So legal environment also have a significant amount of impact towards business activities. Then we have technical environment or technological environment. We perform the same task as our ancient people did? No, we have different kind of technical devices that cause to easier our activities. For an example, I will take how did you communicate last years? How did you communicate when you are small? It is we verbally communicate, or a few years ago, it means 10 to 20 years ago, we used to write letters, and we used to postcards. Likewise, we use different kind of different methods of communication. In the organization context also it is same. They use different kind of communication methods in 10 to 20 years before. They used they use fax messages, and they use emails are recently or currently doing, and official letters. Likewise, they use different ways to communicate. But what happened now? Now within few seconds you can communicate inside the organization as well as outside the organization without any issue. Just a few seconds, within few seconds you can type an email and send it and get the response as soon as possible. So how it become easier? Due to the technological environment, all the activities now is much more easier in the organization. When we looking into the economic environment, when you are considering about the economical environment, it is very much important. All the economic activities happening around the world, happening around the country have a direct impact towards the organization. If we consider some factors such as interest rates are the rate, or the interest rates are the rate that you have to pay when you borrow a loan from any bank. When we consider about the inflation is where increase in the general price level of goods and services. I know these words are a little bit difficult, and these words confusing you. I have to tell, don't think about very strictly, get the idea only. What is meant by interest rate? What is meant by inflation? So I will provide an example for inflation. Assume last year how much amount you paid to buy bread? It's around 45. But now how much you are paying to buy a bread? Now it's around 55 or 60. So that is where inflation, increase in the general price level in an economy, that is called inflation. So when we consider about the foreign exchange rates, foreign exchange rate means how much of local currency, how much of local rupees LKR we should pay in order to buy another currency. For an example, we have to pay around 200 rupees in order to buy $1. So that is exchange rate. Then employment rate. Employment rate means the proportion of the people who are currently going to work, who are currently employed. Then international trade. International trade means it's buying goods and services from outside the country or rest of the world. We consider as the international trade, where we have a mutual relationship with our other countries in the world, and we buy goods and services from them. That is called international trade. When we consider about the another factor like savings. Savings is the proportion of income that you do not spend on goods and services, and you save it to future activities. That is savings. As I mentioned before, these things may confuse you, but take the idea, don't go to the deep, because you will get the chance if you are doing your A-levels and a commerce stream. You will get a chance to study about each of these factors very deeply, and until that, don't think about very hardly, consider about the only the idea. Let's move. I already explained you about the legal environment, technological environment, then economic environment, and let's move to our final environment, that is global environment. What is meant by globalization? Simply, globalization refers to removing the barriers between the boundaries of countries and allowing to communicate, to exchange goods and services with each and every country. Because of globalization, now all of us are in one platform. Now we can easily buy any product in the world within few seconds. But earlier, we couldn't buy anything from the other countries. So globalization means simply removing the barriers in the in different countries in the world. So when it comes to the global environment is simply referring to the it's creating a mutual understanding with all the countries, rest of the world, and it allows to flow goods and services from one country to another country. When we consider about the global environment, there are both advantages and disadvantages. Some can argue there are many advantages than disadvantages. Some can argue no, there are many disadvantages compared to the advantages, but we have to consider both when we are making a rational decision. Let's look at what are the positive impacts from globalization, or positive impacts from the global environment to the business organization. It is a possibility to obtain technology. Without this globalization, can we get able to use Facebook? Can we get able to use Instagram? Can we use WhatsApp? Can we use Twitter? No. Because of the globalization, now we are able to use technologies that is found by another countries in our country. So that is one advantages. Then ability to obtain quality raw materials. You know, in Sri Lanka as well as most of the country, they do not have all the raw materials that they need to produce a particular product. Because of the globalization, now companies are able to purchase raw materials from rest of the world or from rest of the other countries. Then efficient machinery, we can obtain efficient machineries. Now we can obtain different kind of health equipments, production equipments, and we can obtain different kinds of transportation equipment. Likewise, now we are open to the world, and we can easily get our requirements done. If these are not available, assume if the globalization is not available, still we are finding fire using, we are taking fire using stones. By rubbing two stones, still we are getting fire. Because of the globalization, now there are multiple ways to do our tasks. Then inflow of foreign capital. I can tell this from using a very famous example. Now we are consuming products from McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, Pizza Hut. Likewise, are they in local business organizations? No, they are not local business organizations. All are foreign chains. So, as Sri Lankan, because of the globalization, now we are able to consume that kind of products in Sri Lanka. That kinds of brands are available in Sri Lanka because of globalization. Then now we are able to reach to the international market without depending on the domestic market. Now we can easily get to the foreign market. Those are the advantages of global environment. When we consider about the disadvantages of global environment or globalization, it's create a highly competitive market. You know, now you are not depending on Sri Lankan business organization or Sri Lankan businesses. If we feel Sri Lankan products are very high cost, what we do? We just go for AliExpress or Amazon and do our purchase. So it's create a competitiveness in the market. Now Sri Lankan companies, they have to produce products at a lower cost because now we have multiple choices. We can purchase anything that we want at a cheap price at a very little cost within few seconds. Then migration of domestic skill labor. Do you know, even though there are lots of output coming from universities, coming from different degrees or different institutes, there is very little amount of people who stay in the country. Lots of people try to migrate another country and get a higher salary by utilizing their skill. That is also a disadvantage. So inability to existence of domestic business. As I mentioned before, now we can move to products. We can obtain products at our fingertips. So it's threat to our domestic market, domestic business organization. Then negative changes in local cultures. Assume if a foreign company who's there was actually a problem about it's illegal in Sri Lanka but not the other countries. There was a project in Sri Lanka whose, I'm not going to mention the project, but there was a project which cause to Sri Lankan culture. If they come and establish in our country, it cause it may it yeah, definitely it will cause a huge problem to our culture. So that's a threat. So that's the problem. We have to consider, due to this globalization, any investor can come and invest in Sri Lanka, but it creates a negative impact to the local cultures. Now you know what is mean by business environment and what are the two sectors of business environment: internal environment as well as the external environment, and parties in the internal environment and the parties in the external environment. Let's look at why it is important to study about the environment, especially business environment. By analyzing our business environment, we able to identify 4 things: all the activities, all the impacts that is happen in the environment. We can divide into 4 things. You know it. That is SWOT. What is mean by SWOT? Strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. We call it as SWOT analysis. Strengths and weaknesses can be found within the organization or within the internal environment, and opportunities and threats can be found in the external environment. So I will give some examples for strengths and weaknesses. Assume our company has well experienced employees. So that is strengths that create a value to our organization. And we have skillful and well experienced managers. So that is also strength. We can utilize those experience and skills to success of our organization. Then assume we have better finance, or we have a good capital within our hands. So it is also a good thing to our organization. What are the weaknesses? Weaknesses are the bad things. Assume we have semi-skilled or unskilled employees. It is a threat. And managers are not experienced. It is also a threat. Then we are running out of financial difficulty. We obtain lots of bank loans. We obtain lots of debts from the others. That is also a weakness in our organization. Simply, strengths and weaknesses can be found in the internal environment, and strengths are refers to all the good things in the internal environment, while weaknesses are refers to all the bad things in the internal environment. Now you can understand what is opportunities and threats. Opportunities and threats can be found in the external environment, and opportunities are all the good things in the external environment, while threats are all the bad things in the external environment. So what are the opportunities? Better or established or stabilized economy is an opportunity. Better technological environment is an opportunity. Having good rules and regulations in the country, it's an opportunity. Less competitive market is an opportunity. These are the some examples for opportunities. When we looking into the threats, unstable economy. If the economy is unstable, if the political environment is unstable, if there is no specific rules and regulations wave here and there, that is a threat. and some negative things in the cultures also comes under the threats. So as I mentioned before, all the good things and the bad things in the internal environment we consider as strengths and weaknesses, and all the good things and the bad things. Good things in the external environment we consider as the opportunities, and all the bad things in the external environment we consider as threats. Now I think you have a clear idea about what is mean by business environment, and what are the sectors in that, and their parties, and why it is important to study this business environment. So I think it is more than enough to have a clear understanding. This description will help you to get full marks in your O-level examination, and I wish all of you good luck. And now I'm going to wind up this video, and thank you for being with me.